roughly 1 year after she was charged by President Trump's Justice Department for an international bribery scheme. Gulnara Karimova, friend of Bill and Hillary Clinton, Nathaniel Rothschild and other elites, and the daughter of a former Uzbekistan dictator who literally boiled his political opponents alive, has been sentenced to 13 years in prison after a decision by Uzbekistan's Supreme Court on Wednesday. President Trump stepped in to help stop Karimova's corruption back in December of 2017. Many watching may still remember the executive order signed by President Trump back in December of 2017 to block the assets of corrupt actors around the globe. Gulnara Karimova was specifically named at that time in an annex to that order where the president imposed sanctions on 13 corrupt actors. The Trump administration took additional steps last year to address this problem. March of 2019, the U.S. Justice Department named Karimova as part of a major international bribery scheme, charging her with conspiracy to violate U.S. foreign corruption laws. The latest big update happened this week. Uzbek princess, once one of the world's richest women and a friend of the British royal family, has been jailed for 13 years following her £1.7 billion corruption trial. Formerly known as Uzbekistan's most powerful woman, Gulnara Karimova was considered a potential successor to her father before she was put under house arrest in 2014. Now, after this week's ruling, the daughter of Uzbekistan's late president will serve a further 8 years in prison for corruption and criminal activities estimated to have cost the country a total of more than $2.3 billion. Here's a picture of Gulnara's father with Hillary Clinton, and here's her father again with George Bush. Briefly recapping the Clintons' connections to Karimova, I referenced this Washington Examiner article in a previous video. Gulnara Karimova, daughter of the Uzbek dictator who allegedly boils his political opponents alive, was cited as the single most hated person in the country. Karimova's solution, revealed in a message from the State Department to the CIA, was to acquaint herself with Bill Clinton in order to gain favor with Hillary Clinton. The process began with Karimova hosting a Clinton Foundation fundraiser in Monaco. She posed for photographs with Bill Clinton, although Karimova was placed under sustained house arrest before the effects of her Clinton connection could be known. The incident can be seen as a rare example in which parties openly acknowledged, quote, what so many foreign oligarchs and interested investors already know, that access to the Clintons can be used by outsiders as a tool to boost their own fortunes. Gulnara had other celebrity friends as well. Here she is pictured with Elton John. And here she is again with Nathaniel Rothschild. Gulnara Karimova was also a friend of the Queen's cousin, Prince Michael of Kent. Here's another photo of Karimova arguing with officers while being taken to prison. Karimova, 47 years old, was jailed in March of 2019 for violating the terms of her house arrest after receiving a 5-year sentence in 2015 on charges of embezzlement and extortion. She was convicted of organizing a criminal group, extortion, embezzlement by misappropriation, and legalization of income derived from criminal activities. 5 accomplices were also jailed. The Uzbek government has confiscated some £1 billion of her assets. Last month, Karimova begged her father's successor to permit her release, citing ill health and an urgent need for surgery. In the letter that Gulnara sent last month, she claimed that she would return $686 million to the country's treasury in exchange for the dismissal of the court case. Instead, this week she was ordered to spend another 8 years behind bars, making this a 13-year sentence in total, which will have been counted from 2015. The Uzbek Prosecutor General's office said in August that the new case against Kerimova was linked to allegations that she illegally bought state-owned shares of 2 cement plants that she later sold to foreign businessmen. The 47-year-old Kerimova has also been tied to money laundering investigations in Sweden and Switzerland. As for the separate charges against Kerimova filed by President Trump's Justice Department last year, a DOJ press release at that time added, quote, "This is the third installment in a trilogy of cases arising from an almost $1 billion bribery scheme that reached the highest echelons of the Uzbekistan government and was orchestrated by some of the largest telecommunications companies in the world. By funneling multi-million-dollar bribe payments through the U.S. financial system, the companies and individual defendants corruptly tried to tip the global economy in their favor and line their own pockets, but they are now paying the price. Today, my office and other law enforcement partners are sending a bold, unequivocal message that the U.S. financial system is not in business to enable foreign bribery or money laundering. This office stands ready to prevent, prosecute, and penalize foreign corrupt practices wherever in the world we find them." Another quote from the same DOJ press release from last year adds, "Gulnara Kerimova stands accused of exploiting her official position to solicit and accept more than $865 million in bribes from 3 publicly traded telecom companies, and then laundering those bribes through the U.S. financial system." The indictment and corporate resolution announced today, together with 2 prior corporate resolutions involving bribes allegedly paid to Kerimova, demonstrate the department's comprehensive approach to foreign corruption. We will aggressively pursue both corrupt foreign officials and the companies and individuals who bribe them in order to gain unfair business advantages. We will do everything we can to keep the proceeds of that corruption out of the U.S. financial system. IRS Criminal Investigation Chief Don Fort then added, quote, "With the increase in globalization and ease with which funds can be moved, criminals think their financial transactions cannot be tracked, but they would be wrong. We will continue to investigate violations of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act to ensure our country's financial institutions are not used for devious purposes. We are committed to aggressively pursuing all who engage in corruption, money laundering, and bribery for their own personal gain and at the expense of the United States government." Another article from that time explains further how Kerimova demanded hundreds of millions in bribes from Telia, VimpelCom, and MTS to acquire telecom licenses in Uzbekistan at the time her father was the president. According to the DOJ, Kerimova conspired to launder the bribes through U.S. bank accounts. Kerimova is considered a foreign official under the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, the unsealed charging document said. The Uzbek telecom licenses were not allowed to be purchased or transferred by private entities. One more quote from the DOJ press release on Kerimova and those charges against her last year. They said the investigation has thus far yielded a combined total of more than $2.6 billion in global fines and disgorgement, including more than $1.3 billion in criminal penalties paid to the United States. In related actions, the DOJ has also filed civil complaints seeking the forfeiture of more than $850 million held in bank accounts in Switzerland, Belgium, Luxembourg, and Ireland, which constitute bribe payments made by MTS, VimpelCom, and Telia, or funds involved in the laundering of those bribes, to Kerimova. Please leave a comment and tell me what you think about this latest update. If you could give this video a thumbs up, click the like button, that's greatly appreciated, and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Also, I've just recently started promoting my Twitter page, another backup just in case something happens here on YouTube with all the censorship going on. My name @RealityReader over on Twitter, you can follow me there. Plus my website, realityreader.com, another place you can find more updates A big thank you again to everybody that has been sharing these videos and sharing the channel with others to help get the information out there. And thank you everybody that has supported the channel through Patreon or PayPal. Both of those links are down in the video description. I will follow up soon. Thanks again.